Hey guys, CHWY here. Today is Saturday, August 21st. We're going to be taking a look at CHWY stock to try to figure out where this thing could potentially be going here in these upcoming weeks. So I've done a few videos on CHWY and I've talked about how my price target is in the mid one or not mid 100s, so the low 100s, like 110, then 120 for to finish off this impulse to the upside. But let's take a look at the levels and where we could potentially be going because obviously we flushed to finish off the week, which is never a good thing. So we've been in this uptrend since our wave two bottom, and then there's this dotted uptrend line that I've drawn. So this was at one point in time support, and it was our uptrend. And now because we've broken beneath it, it's starting to act as resistance. As you can see, we went up and we touched above it, ultimately just to get rejected and head lower. So with that being said, so we put in our wave two bottom. We had this five-wave impulse to the upside to give us a wave one. We pulled back for a two, and now we've gone up for and finished off our another one, and we're going down to finish off our two. So far, what we've seen is we had an A, a B, and it looks like we're going down for a C. We could end up putting in a complex correction. Time will tell, but we should be finding bottom somewhere between 87, which we're already beneath it, and $83 a share. So somewhere in this ballpark is going to be our our wave two price target. From there, we should rally back to the upside. I think we'll break above the trend line, come back and use it as support, and then that will be our finishing move, taking us up to about 113 a share, somewhere in that ballpark. So with that being said, let's take a look at RSI. So what we're seeing right now is that on the RSI, we actually haven't had any divergence, so that's good. We're putting in new highs, and the RSI has been going higher, so that's always a good sign. But obviously, we got rejected at this trend line, and we headed lower. So where could we find support? And this is what makes me think that CHWY is going to head lower. Even if we do get a pop to the upside, I do think ultimately we're going to flush lower. I think that CHWY is going to have the RSI come down and hit this support before it heads higher. So I've kind of drawn a circle on here. Maybe go ahead and throw it on your chart and just kind of watch it if you're trying to look for a great dip buy spot. I do think all dips are buy on CHWY, especially the closer we get to this trend line. If we can get lucky enough that CHWY comes all the way back down and kisses this trend line, do I think it'll go that low? Probably not. But if the state of the market takes it that low, that's a great dip buy opportunity because I do think the earnings are going to be good. Now, mind you, that's a really big risk. If the earnings are bad, that could send this thing way lower, break us out of our uptrend, and make us go into more of a complex correction, meaning that our wave two bottom wasn't set. So you have to be mindful of that going into earnings. Now, I personally believe the earnings will be good. They've had the last two or three earnings have been very good. So I think that that's going to be what we'll see again, and I think that's where we're going to get our rocket boosters taking us up into the 100 range. So be mindful of that. That CHWY is most likely going to head lower than what we currently saw this week. We should catch support somewhere in here, and then I do see it going into the hundreds. The one concerning thing during this uptrend is that we're doing it on decreasing volume, so that's never good. We're putting in new highs right here, but we're doing it on decreasing volume. But at least the RSI isn't having any bearish divergence, so that's a pretty good sign. So there's some positives and some negatives, but ultimately what it's probably going to come down to here is how these earnings are. But we'll see what happens. All right, guys, if you like these videos, go ahead, hit a like and subscribe.